everybody. Okay, I just literally finished. I clicked and clicked again to start filming my review for 306, that episode. So this episode begins with Simon and Jordan, and I'm not even gonna bother with the intro because you're probably watching this as soon as you finish the other one. Yeah, so this episode begins with I thought it was hilarious with Simon and Jordan fighting, and so Jordan is wearing all this gear because Simon is like, dude, if you come at me, this thing is gonna like throw you into a wall, and it kind of does. And they haven't known each other for that long, but I already really like their relationship. It changes a little bit once, you know, the whole thing with Maya comes out, but I think Simon is a very forgiving person. He is such a just nice person, and he always tries to look at the best of things and tries to find the best in people. So I really like how their friendship is right now, and I feel like it'll get to that point later on again once like he doesn't get permission from Maya, but when that kind of like levels out a little bit. All right, Heidi is still in the picture. She's annoying and needs to go. Yeah, she does by the end of the episode. Next thing, okay, Malik. So they're eating. Yeah, they're eating breakfast or something, and then they kind of bring up the same thing again. And so they brought up, you know, the immortality thing. They brought up the fact that Alec was afraid that he might just be another memento in Magnus's box. And so Magnus is like, oh, does this have anything to do with being that I'm the first dude that you've ever been with? Not only the first man, but like the first relationship. Is that anything to do with it? And Alec is like, why are you treating me like a child? And Magnus is like, well, stop acting like one. So that was kind of sad to watch that they were fighting, but I feel like it was a necessary conversation that they had to have. And then I have my theory for Malik. Like I said in the last episode, I hope it's not the case, but I just don't, at this point, I just don't see how it could be any other way that Magnus is going to continue on and Alec is going to eventually die unless something happens that Magnus also dies with him. And I just I don't know, you guys. I don't know. And then there's that whole scene with Maris. Oh my god, I love Maris, you guys. I'm about to just talk about her right now. About to talk all about her. So there's that scene where she comes back and she has been de-ruined, and they go out to have dinner with their kids. And so Izzy, Magnus, Alec, and Jace are all there, but Jace is like under his spell, so he's like not acting like himself. So Magnus, he texts Alec and he's like, I'm not gonna be able to make it, like give my love to Maris. And so then Alec kind of gets a little tipsy and he starts talking to that other Shadowhunter who had thanked him about, you know, coming out. And so I'm glad that I didn't think it would, but I'm glad that didn't like lead to anywhere, because I don't think Alec is like that stupid, and I don't think that other Shadowhunters would like cross that line to do anything with Alec. But he was very nice. He was like, you know what, I'll help you. Like, you don't want to be seen by your family like this, I'll help you get a cab, and I'll tell them that there was like institute business. And I was like, you are a nice person. I hope you are in the show more because I like him very much. Please tell me his name, I forgot. All right, so yeah, about Maris, she got de-ruined, which was sad. She's trying to put on a brave face, but you know that she was really affected by it. What is it called? Oh, and then she brings up, like, this was all before the dinner, but she brings up Jace and she's like, oh, I want to spend time with my children. And I just love that dynamic with the Lightwoods, that Jace is just, there's not even a question that he's, you know, an other of the family. He's a Lightwood. He's one of Maris's kids. That is it. Like, he is part of the family. And I just, you guys, blood is not always thicker than water, and I just admire that so much because reasons. I don't know what that was. Okay, but then there's that conversation with Maris and Izzy, and they're having like a mother-daughter moment, and Izzy is like, you're still beautiful, you're still a strong woman, you're still like wonderful. And I was like, tears. They're so great. I love them so much. And then there's like a little bit of a Sizzy moment, which wasn't really like a Sizzy moment. She like waved at him, he waved back. She went over there and talked to him and kissed him on the cheek. And I just thought that was lovely. They're just friends right now. But my Sizzy heart is still very passionate, and I want that to happen. Like, I know there's the whole thing with Maya, but I feel like that can go so many different ways. And especially at the end of this episode, or one of the episodes, she leaves. So we'll get to that. But my Sizzy heart was just very happy because I love them and I really want them to be together, and I love them in the books, and I love their chemistry in the show, like even more honestly, and I just I love it. All right, but yeah, then Heidi starts fighting Izzy because she thinks that she is taking her man, and I'm like, Heidi, sweetheart, you need to chill. She starts fighting Izzy, and Izzy is like, you're okay, you are nothing compared to me. She doesn't say that, but she like fights her and wins. But yeah, then Luke shows up and he has a little conversation with Maris. Y'all, I ship them so much, so much. I know Jocelyn is no longer around. I'm still slightly bitter about that because she never does die in the books. I'm not bitter about it. I understand why it happened, but like, why? Anyways, I wouldn't be opposed to her ever coming back in the future somehow, but I do ship Luke and Maris. I mean, look at their lives. They know each other. They've been friends. They've known each other for years, for decades, and I feel like, you know, Luke had this tragedy with Jocelyn. Maris had not the same level of tragedy, but you know, an infidel, her marriage falling apart because of Robert. That's really sad also. She's kind of starting all over again. She lost her marriage. She lost her, you know, Shadowhunter status, her runes. And so she just feels lost. So I feel like she's holding on to her kids, but I would love her to have another kind of adult relationship with somebody who kind of understands, because Luke wasn't de-runed, but he was turned into a werewolf. So in a way, he kind of understands her, and I feel like they can just relate on a lot of levels, and I just think that they're kind of a perfect match, and I want them to be together. Something for the future. It doesn't have to happen right now. And then we have that little scene with Lilith and Jace, and my brother is out there, and they're Jace, it sounds weird hearing him talk to her like she's like his master. And she's using Jace because he is the one who killed her son. She wants to use him because she wants to hurt him. She wants to force him to do all these things because she knows that it is causing him pain. And when he wakes up, like she said, she knows, she wants it to be him that experiences all that pain from losing everybody and from being the puppet for all of this destruction. And that Jace already like hates himself and just puts all the guilt on himself, and so this is just going to make that so much worse. And then especially some of the things that happen later on, I hate that it's him that she's doing this to, because of the fact that of how he is and how he feels towards himself. Also, there was no need for that kissing scene. That was nasty. There was no need for that. All right, then there's that scene with Jace and Alec when they meet on the street, and Jace didn't seem like himself. He was just very cheery and smiley, which is like not how he is usually. He's not like, you know, down or depressed all the time, but he's not also like jumping up for joy. But then he meets like Clary back at the Institute, and she like notices something off with him like right away. She's like, something is not right with you. So that's why she goes to Magnus. And I love these scenes between Clary and Magnus also. I think they're just fantastic. They're a great duo. He calls her Biscuit. I was like, that's so cute. I love it when he does that. And then of all of these episodes, the only time that I like reacted kind of the most, one of 2 times, was when he mentioned Brother Zachariah. We all know that Brother Zachariah is Jem. We all know Jem Carstairs. Oh my god. So I literally squealed because Jem, I've mentioned this 1,000 times before, but Magnus is my favorite character overall. He's in all the books that he's just my favorite, but in the Infernal Devices books, Jem is my favorite character. I adore his character. I think a lot more people like Will, and I have a special place in my heart for Tessa, but there's just something about those kinds of sweet characters like Jem that I just love so much, and I just adore him. I've been really, of all the books, I really wanted to reread the Infernal Devices books and just like experience all that all over again and see if I could experience that all over again. I just love him. Also, help me out, y'all. So I know that spoiler alert, I guess, but so Jem, when he stops being a silent brother, because that doesn't happen until a little bit later on in the Mortal Instruments books, at this early point in the story he still is a silent brother. He doesn't get unsilent brothered until a little bit later on when he like meets up with Tessa again. But does he, in the books, do they describe him as not looking like the rest of the Shadowhunters? But just help me out because I don't remember. Does he look different than the other silent brothers? Because in the show he just looked like a regular dude with some silver hair and in the hood. I think the guy that they chose to be Jem was just fine. Like, we didn't really get a huge scene with him, so I don't really know like more about him, but he seemed fine. I'm glad that they made him Chinese because Jem in the books is Chinese, so I'm glad that they kept that. Like obviously if they didn't, there would have been a problem. But yeah, just help me out. I don't remember how if he looked different in the books, like if he was described as looking different, because like I said, he just looked like a dude in a robe. And then he mentions Will Herondale. He's like, any friend of Will Herondale is a friend of mine. And I'm like, yeah, sure, any friend of your parabatai, sure. Oh, and then I think one of the things he says, he's like, I know I don't appear like the others, but that is a tale for another day. And I'm like, yeah, dude, a trilogy long tale of a story, dude. But yeah, I was watching this particular episode at like 1 o'clock in the morning when this scene happened, and then he mentioned Will Herondale, and I just screeched a little bit because Will Herondale, everybody, please, not only Jace's ancestor, but just Will Herondale. Pretty sure I've mentioned this before, but the Infernal Devices series is my favorite trilogy within all of the books that Cassandra Clare has written in this Shadowhunter world. I'm very attached to the characters in the Mortal Instruments because they are the first ones that she ever wrote. They are the first ones that I ever experienced and read. But I just have, and I have a very special place in my heart for them. But the Infernal Devices books, I just love that story and those characters so much, and it's just so good. So eventually, Jace, who is the owl, he attacks Luke's partner, Ollie, and then Magnus and Clary eventually figure out that Jace is the owl, and so they get there right in time. Ollie ends up getting like possessed or whatever, and Magnus and Clary fight him a little bit, and then Luke shoots him actually, but that doesn't do anything, and so Jace slash owl, whatever, climbs up a building like Spider-Man and just tries to escape that way, but then Clary goes after him, and that is the end of this episode. So we will pick up in the next video that I do in about 2 seconds because I'm going to end this and start the other one. But the next episode was crazy, especially at the beginning, but we're gonna get into that. But yeah, did I say thank you for watching? Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in about 2 seconds when I end this and start my next one. Okay, bye-bye.